Hello everyone, it's Swafie and how y'all doing, guys? I am here pretty good, pretty well, I guess, because in the last episode I was said that I'm sick and I'm pretty tired, but in this episode not really. I am like in 100% fitness right now, and I am glad for that because I gotta do this episode right here, which is the 29th episode of Dralley. Yeah, welcome to the 29th episode of Dralley. So you may see on the title already, the title says it's the new Skylines, and yes, I am building the real downtown itself. I mean, like, you know, the Skylines area in our second downtown area. So this is the real thing right here, but I am actually dividing this episode into two episodes. So the next episode is gonna be up like usually on Saturday, and this episode is gonna be up on Wednesday if I'm not gonna changing the schedule. So yeah, basically this episode itself, it's going to be about the placing of the buildings, the road layouts, and that things, you know, the basic things. And the next episode we're gonna be like detailing the areas and putting some just more heavily detailed in the next episode. So in this episode it's not really that much detail, but I have pretty much struggle here actually with this thing that I am working right now. This is a 2 roads. I mean, I kind of wanted to make like a big avenue like in San Francisco. So I went to Reddit and I saw a beautiful waterfront boulevard from 5DEM-12. I think he have a YouTube channel called Sea Game World, if I'm not mistaken. So he made a waterfront boulevard that looks like the one in San Francisco. So it's really beautiful actually. It's just really nice. If you want to see how is it, this is how it looks like, how his works look like, and it's very great. Really, I just inspired to make that as well. So I am kind of trying here actually, and I'm struggling to make that thing to be just like him, I guess. And it's pretty hard to make, especially when you are like wanted to combining these 2 lanes into one large avenue. It's just a struggle. If you want to make it tidy or neat, it's very hard, I guess. It's just very hard, and I'm struggling here I think for I don't know, more than 15 minutes, I guess. Yeah, and the time lapse is maybe it's just going to be like 3 or 4, 5 minutes. But in real life, I actually struggle with this in a very long time. Like, I don't know, maybe 15 to 20 minutes. Just trying to figure out how is this going to be, and I kind of pretty much succeed. But I mean, it's not really that as beautiful as the Sea Game World make, but still I am trying to just imitate how he's doing it, but it's kind of different. It's kind of my version of the waterfront boulevard itself. So I kind of satisfied with how this turns out, I guess, but right now it's not the final one that I am making here. It's not the final. I'm still figuring out how it's gonna be, like what route that I should have here. So I ended up putting those 2 lanes route with the trees. But right now, like, you see that 2 lane roads with the trees on both sides. And I think later I will change it into only one side. I'm not sure when I'm gonna change it. Maybe in the next episode. I've kind of forgot because I kind of making this episode and the next episode in one single time. So I don't know where I'm gonna change that. So Anyways, this episode actually it's pretty long, I guess. Even though it's just like mainly placing buildings, figuring out things. I didn't know that this episode is gonna be this long. I thought that this episode gonna be shorter, maybe like 17 to 18 minutes. But I was wrong. It's not like what I expected because I do think that I am just placing a lot of things like this pier right here. It's really beautiful pier. Actually, I am trying things out here with those floating pier, and I actually put this residential stairs like the one that you get from the Brooklyn housings, and actually it's pretty realistic, I guess. But since the floating pier or the floating board there, it's like floating, which is it's going to follow the waves or the water itself. So sometimes it's going to be like very low, sometimes it's going to be like very high. But I think I kind of edited or like configuring the water level out. I think in the end it's just great after all. So well, I am making this connection here to the tram avenue right there, which is great as well. So this is, I think, the flea market, which is I think it's very great assets, and I am actually just trying to imitate what the C game world was doing. And I think that the flea market stuff, it's very great. So I hope that I have more of those kind of assets, I guess, because I don't know, but I think there's not a lot of people that making those kind of assets, like the flea market assets, the pure assets. I really wanted to see a lot more of those assets, but I don't know. Well, we're just gonna see in, I don't know, maybe if you guys know any like those kind of assets, you can tell me, and I'm gonna check it out in the workshop. But for this time around, I don't have any knowledge. I don't know any assets that just looks like that, but I do think that asset is great. So if you know some more assets that just like that, so please tell me in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm gonna take a break. Actually, I'm gonna see you later, maybe in 4 minutes. Alright, see you later. everyone, so 5 minutes are past and I'm back here. Well, first thing first, I want to address this, that I didn't realize how many assets that I got until I placed all of these buildings right here, and it turns out I have quite a lot. I just have freaking many assets right here that I don't know or I didn't wear before, and actually it's a lot. It turns out quite a lot of assets that I have right here, and I don't know, it's just really like blowing my mind, like how many assets that I have and I never aware of them, and it's just crazy that I can make this one great Skylines right here with all of the assets that I have that I never used before in the first download and stuff. So I mean, but before that, these assets that I'm using here, I think it's new. I subscribed them for, just after, I subscribed them after I done the first downtown, which is I don't have those assets when I made the first downtown, and it's just been a couple months or almost 3 months, and I turns out have quite a lot of assets to have. I turns out I have more assets than I expected, but I think it's a good thing and it's a bad thing in some way, because having a lot of assets is not really that good. If you don't have a good specs computer, it's really it's really not great to have a lot of assets. But I am very much grateful right now that my computer still can handle all of this assets. Well, right now I have around 1,400 assets, which is tons of assets, and I am just very grateful that my computer can handle like 1,400 3D assets, and it's still running pretty well until this point, which is the 29th episode. It is long way, like I don't know what to say actually, but I'm just so grateful that my computer is still running this game very well. There is no single error except for the warning notice when I load the game in the first time. So anyway, what I've been doing in the past, I don't know, maybe or 7 minutes now, is actually I'm just placing these Skylines, the assets that I have right there. And what am I doing right here? I am detailing this tower, which is, I think it's the Pearl from the East DLCs. It's great. I have like, I don't know, I think there are 5 assets in that DLCs, and this tower, I think one of that assets. And I do think that this tower is come from Shanghai, China. If I'm not mistaken, it's come from there. I'm not really sure, but it's pretty sure that it is similar with the tower there. I forgot what the tower called, I guess. Let me look for it. But anyway, I am detailing this tower right here as a park. So this thing right here shouldn't be like a very heavy densely area. Okay, so the tower itself named Oriental Pearl Tower. So yeah, it's pretty much look like the tower from China, and it's great assets actually. And I wanted to make this whole area right here that I have to be just park, and it's actually like a touristic place or tourist attraction, and I think it turns out pretty great for me at least. And there's just a lot of trees, and I love trees. I really love trees. A lot of grass, and just some fences and some wall rock that I am rarely use actually. But actually this area itself, it turns out pretty great for me. And what I did in the last, I don't know, 10 minutes right now. It's actually just placing buildings and just figuring out how these buildings are going to be, and like, do I need to have some parking lots, like grounded parking lots, or do I need to have a like parking garage, or I should put those parking lots and parking garage. And it is really hard to decide at the first time. And I mean, but then it turns out just really great, I guess. This area, it's even more beautiful than the first downtown in my opinion, and it's just really turns out pretty great. I love this area so much. The second downtown, it's just the best that I ever made at this point. Especially if you're gonna see, I mean, especially if you're seeing the next episode, it's just going to be even more beautiful, even more exciting, because I don't know, I think that, yeah, this episode, I mean, these two episodes that's gonna come, it's going to be like one of my best built in City Skylines ever, and I'm just really happy for that, because I am nailed every single thing that's in my head into one of the things that really just what I wanted. So yeah, I mean, and you're seeing here that I still place building around, and I just don't know, man. I have a lot of assets right here, which is very crazy. A lot of assets that I am never heard of, or I just never aware of. But the good thing is that I have a lot of assets. I'm not running out of assets, and it's pretty good that I can use these assets for something like this heavily densely area, which is I wanted to have like a lot of buildings. And I mean, a lot of buildings, like not like all the same buildings like what I'm doing in the housing things, you know. Right over there, it's like the Brooklyn theme, like it's repetitive, but it's not really that repetitive, because there are many variants in them, and it's just great to have a different kind of buildings in one place, and to see them as a Skylines is just really beautiful. And I actually post a screenshot on Reddit, which is this one right here. This is screenshot from me after I done this 2 episodes. So it's really great. I mean, this area is really shaping up. I really like how it looks like, especially if especially if I'm gonna finish all of this entire area, like the second downtown and the first downtown. So I'm actually wanted to finish this second downtown first, and then go to the airport, and then finish the first downtown, and then actually I'm gonna end the series. I think that's what my plan is, but let's just see in, I don't know, couple months or 1 month. I'm not really sure about that, but I'm just trying to push the episodes right now as many as I can every single week, because that's just my goal right here right now. And I mean, my goal is to push the episodes and maybe like end the episodes pretty quick. I mean, as fast as possible. I mean, it's not that I am tired of this, but I am really excited to finish this. And actually, I have a lot of things to do in real life. I am actually nearly on my senior year. I mean, or on my final year, or my final semester of the college. So I really need. I'm sorry about that. I really need to focus on that thing first, and then I'm gonna come back to this City Skylines in, I don't know, maybe 6 months, and that's pretty long time, I guess. to come back. It's like 6 months. It's just such pretty long time, and I don't know how am I gonna do it. But anyways, I'm really excited for finishing this entire series itself. So this is the last thing that I'm gonna do, and as you may see, this cinematic camera footage, I mean, this episode is officially ended. So thank you so much for you all that supporting me, watching my videos every single week, liking them. It's really means a lot to me. So if you do like this video, please make sure to give like in this video. The like button is down there, and as well as click the subscribe button, the red button with the subscribe thing, subscribe letter in that. It's also in the bottom down there below, so please click on that subscribe button as well, because I would love to see you in the next episode. So don't forget to leave a feedback. Anything will be appreciated, anything can be important to me, so we'll appreciate it. I will appreciate it so much to one who leave a good feedback, like a good suggestion or anything. Anyways, my name is Swafie, and I will see you in the next one.